how did you get your start in the music industry? I want to know like what took place before you got signed to Atlantic Records.
I was singing with a girls group. Somebody had put a girls group together. Somebody who has now been a long-term friend of mine, but she put the group together, and we were working with several different people trying to get a deal. And those girls ended up signing a deal with, I think it was Geffen Records or something at the time, and I didn't really like the deal. So I was just like, yeah, you guys can go ahead. I'm not gonna sign it. And they thought I was crazy. So I was like, you know, so I continued. I had a day job. I continued working my day job. And Eddie Irons, who is now my husband, called me out of the blue one day because the girls group had done some work in his studio when we were putting our demo together. So he called me out of the blue and said, hey, do you want to do a project together? And I was like, hey, yeah. So we got together and started working, and it took us about a year and a half before we were able to land the deal with Atlantic. So it was through working with him and creating music with him that I ended up getting the deal with Atlantic Records.
Cool. So that's Eddie Irons of the funk band Brick in the 70s.
Yes, yeah. Yes, one of the founding members of Brick.
Well, that's cool. So the first single was If She Knew. That was a hit. So how did you feel about that becoming a hit? Like, it was, the music video. I seen the music video.
Yeah. It was amazing, really. You always want your work to do well. But I was surprised. I shouldn't have been surprised because I worked hard and I thought it was good. You don't put something out there that you think sucks. So I thought it was good and I wanted people to like it, but I was really surprised when they liked it that much. I think we ended up, I have a video somewhere on my IG where I have these questions about, have people guessing the answers, but, and I have the Billboard chart where we made top 20. I think we made 11 or 13, somewhere like in there. But we made top 20 on the Billboard Urban chart. And so it was quite surprising. It was amazing to roll into a city doing a promo date and, hear them announcing the date and announcing me like I was somebody on the radio, Of course, they called me Annie G, which is why I dropped the E from my name on the second album.
Yes. Okay, because I was trying to figure out, is it Angie? The first album is it Angie or is it Annie G? Okay, Annie G. So I got confirmation.
Yes, it's Angie. They called me Annie G, and I would hear that as I came in to do the show. We were all pumped, and I would hear on the radio, featuring Annie G, and I was like, oh, we got to do something about that.
Yeah.
So we dropped the E, and it was much easier.
Okay, because I know that If She Knew was a hit, and then you had the hit Heart Donor. That hit the charts too. So
yeah, Heart Donor made the charts. It didn't do nearly as well as If She Knew, but we made the charts with it. Yeah, we made the charts with it, and it was a fun record. A lot of people wrote me and told me, because that was back in the day, you had like fan mail where you mailed stuff. And I wish we had IG and Facebook now back then. But I got a few letters where they thought I was saying hard donut or something. Yeah, hard donut.
I saw that on YouTube. Somebody said I thought she said hot donut.
Yeah, hot donut.
Because they were little at the time. Yeah.
Yes, that was hilarious to me. It's like a whole song about a hot donut? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, Heart Donor. Yeah, that was a fun one.
So was If She Knew the only music video?
No, actually, Hassle Free was from the second album, and we did a music video from that one. And somebody posted it. It's on YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. I was going to ask, like, the first album only had one music video too?
Yes. Yeah. Each
Okay.
album only had one music video. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was always wondering. I said, did she have another music video on the first album, you know?
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, nope, not on the first album. Yeah, I struggled over there at Atlantic Records with the personal relationships. I was pretty young and very headstrong. And the president over there at the time of Urban was very headstrong, with a very strong personality. So with me bucking back at someone who was used to, you know, everybody kind of bowing to whatever was said, that didn't go over real well for me. For me, so I didn't get a lot of things that I wanted done.
Yeah, because this album I think is one of the most underrated New Jack Swing albums ever. Like,
thank you.
It's a great album. Like, I can listen to this. You know, like back then you could listen to albums, you could listen to the whole thing and like all the songs. So yeah, and then you have the bonus track on here, Time's Up. I really like that one too. Yeah, this is a real good album, man.
Thank you so much. We worked so hard on that album.
Yeah,
I still remember times where we went in the studio on Friday. The studio that we worked out of, Ed owned at the time, and it had no windows. So we would go in on a Friday, and we would be in there in this dark, you know, shut up place. And we would come out on like Monday and not like go to sleep. Like I might fall asleep and take a quick nap while he did something to the track. And then I would have to wake up like 15 minutes later and do some more singing. And then I might fall asleep again for another 20 minutes while he did something, and basically stayed up until Monday to get stuff done. It was just, we worked, we were grinding for that record.
Yeah, because I think it was very great that you were involved in a lot of writing and production on here. You know, I see it on the credits. You're a good songwriter, producer. You know, I appreciate all your your stuff, and then you're doing new stuff now. You know, so it's real good. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the songwriting actually was out of necessity. I wasn't much of a songwriter before. I wouldn't have called myself a songwriter before that project. I did write a lot of poetry, but there were some producers who were working with Ed, and they were some producer writers, and they were all trying to write for me, but they couldn't understand my vocal range. And so they were getting frustrated with me. I was getting frustrated with them. So I was like, I write poetry. Let me just try to write some songs. And I knew how to play piano, so I was a musician. So I started writing the songs because we were all frustrated, and it worked out so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, that because this is a real good album.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look at all the other New Jack Swing albums that were out during that time. A lot of female artists that were out, and I have to mention you because yeah, you're unrecognized. You
make me feel so good, Queenie.
yeah, because I got a few more records over here. And I'm not trying to compare you to any of these artists, but these two were out in '89.
Oh yeah,
Janet Jackson.
Janet, yes.
Yeah. So I put your albums up there with them. So.
Oh, girl. Yeah. My face gonna be hurting from grinning so hard.
Yeah.
Very
You know,
sweet.
it's just my opinion. You know, some people might think differently, but you know, um, I'm very particular when it comes to music too. Like,
Yeah,
I like to see like talent.
yeah. I
I
appreciate
do
that.
radio. You know, I'm not a music artist, but I I know about good music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? In the music business,
Mm-hmm.
really, it's the consumer's ear that matters the most. You
Yeah.
know, it's not how good of a musician you are in terms of your opinion. It's
Mm-hmm.
are you, what kind of consumer are you? Because musicians don't really buy too much music. It's consumers, it's people like you, who are going to have a strong opinion because they hear other stuff, and
Yeah.
because it moves them or it doesn't. So yeah, it's important.
When it comes to New Jack Swing, I listen to a lot of people from back then. A lot of
Hmm.
artists that didn't get a lot of recognition. Yeah, I call it like rare New Jack Swing. So I listen to everybody from Bobby Brown to Albie
Hmm.
Sher to Janet Jackson to
Yes.
Angie to I mean everybody.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Those were
um,
some good records back then. I remember so much stuff from back then.
because
Really,
I'm
really
giving a
good
lot of this
artists.
stuff airplay. I'm giving a lot of this New Jack Swing airplay. A lot of New Jack Swing songs that people haven't heard in years. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Bringing back
um,
some good memories.
yes. So, did you do like any tours for the first album?
Um, I didn't do any like formal tours for the first or second album, but we were on a plane every weekend doing promo tour, promo dates,
Mm-hmm.
all over the place, mainly in the southeast and the Midwest. Um, a little bit, not too much northern stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we were all over the place doing dates. That was a very, very fun period. I was an anxious performer. I preferred recording and writing to performing, but after the first 5 minutes or so on stage, it was absolute fun, and my crew was just the bomb. So we had a lot of fun times, and Ed was
That's great.
my road manager. So, you know,
Yeah, that's really cool. Atlantic Records, had a lot of good, albums coming out in '89. Like Troop, they had the album Attitude, which is like my favorite Troop album, by the way. Yep, and
yeah,
I have that. I have that right now. I have this, you know, Angie on a
yeah,
Mission, Troop, two
yes,
favorites. Yeah,
yes.
two favorites.
That's
Yep,
funny.
best
I just
records.
connected with Steve Russell Hartz on
Mm,
Clubhouse a couple of months ago. Yeah,
yeah. Um,
yeah, from Troop.
and Levert too. Yeah, Levert. Yeah,
Oh, yes, yes.
yeah,
They were amazing. They were
yeah.
amazing. They
Your
were
label mate. So I figured I'll mention them. Because they were on the same label as you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I remember their manager one time. It was a funny story. I was stuck in a city where we were supposed to perform without my dancers, and I had never. I don't think I had ever done a show without them, and they missed their flight. But Levert was doing another show in the same city. I think we were in Philly, and I was refusing to do the show without my dancers being there. I was scared to death, and I was just like, no, it's gonna look silly. It was a choreography show. Everything was about, New Jack Swing was all about, doing it, all the stuff.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was like, I would look crazy up there trying to do that, just one person by myself. I'm not doing it.
yeah.
And they were like, no, you have to do this date. So they had Levert's manager call me and talk to me, and he almost talked me into it. I was pretty much there, but then Ed, who was really my savior for the road, got those dancers there. He had them catch a different plane and then had them catch a limo from another city into the city and got them there like minutes before that show. So it all worked out. But yeah, their manager was really cool and they were nice guys. So fun times.
That's cool. Yeah. So how was your experience recording this album, From the Heart, in 1991?
Pretty much like the first one. Pretty much like the first one, except we recorded a lot of that album. I think we recorded all of that album in our house. By that time, we had gotten this house out in Marietta, and we built a studio, and that was where we recorded that album. The vibe was a little bit different. I think it wasn't because we already had the deal by then, so it just felt a little different. When we recorded the songs for the first album, some of them we were still just working on, getting the deal and putting everything together. But for that second album, the whole thing was done under the company, and it was just a little bit more relaxed vibe, but it was still a lot of fun, still a lot of hustle. But yeah, it was a little different vibe because we were under the label for all of the music.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like, was it a lot? It was a lot of difficulty at Atlantic Records for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of it was, I have to assume responsibility for a lot of it. Like I said, I was a bit headstrong. When you're first starting out, you really don't have a lot of power, and you have to realize that. Unless you go in with, like nowadays, you can go in with a huge fan base because you've built a fan base over social media, and that equals power for you. You can call some shots. Back then, there was no social media, so you had no power. You were completely at the mercy of these people, and your best bet was to get them on your side, to make them like you and want to do things for you. And additionally to sell lots of records and have the public to like you. But the way that the public would relate to you was through shows, through public appearances, TV and stuff like that. But then the label had to like you in order to make those things happen. So it was, a little cycle of you feed me, I feed you. In terms of label relations, there was no going directly to the public like the ability that you would have as an independent artist now. So I had no power, but I didn't recognize that. I was too young to recognize you need to play the game. As Kendra says, sit down, be humble. So, that was part of a lesson that I learned. And also the personalities that they had there were just not the most, it was difficult. Yeah, they were difficult relationships. So that was a big problem. You have to know how to play politics, and you have to work with what you got. So. Yeah.
Because for the albums, I feel like there should have been like more music videos.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very hard back then. Music videos were a fortune. They were very expensive. So they really had to like you or believe in you. And I don't know how much, I don't remember feeling like they had a lot of faith back then, or if it was just all interpersonal issues. Excuse me. But I think some of it may have been a lack of faith in what I could sell, because if they spent the tens of thousands of dollars, could they make it back in record sales? So that's always a consideration. Yeah. So I'm not sure what the weight of the issue was there, whether it was just personal or
Mm-hmm.
business as well, or both, you know.
Yeah, because I wasn't born back then to know, but I just look at your career and I see I have faith. I feel like if more stuff was released, you would have did good. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
I think, for people to, I do see, from time to time, I will look at those old videos on YouTube, just to read the kind things that people have to say decades later, and it amazes me that anybody is looking for that music, you know, decades later. Um, so to see that stuff says, wow, there were a lot of people who really appreciated it, and still to remember it to this day, or still say they play it to this day. Yeah, yeah, I could see where it could have gone further with
yeah,
more faith and more action behind, the label. So
yeah, because your music is timeless.
thank you. Thank
It really is. People will see the If She Knew video, but I looked at the If She Knew video for the first time a few years ago, and I was like, let me go listen to the album. I said, this is another female artist from the New Jack Swing era. I said, let me go check out her album. So
you.
I said, yeah, this is really good. If She Knew was a hit, but give it a chance. Go listen to the album.
Thank
I like
you.
it. So
Thank you. Yeah, I poured out my heart in that album. In both albums, poured out my heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. From the Heart explains it.
Yes.
So
Yes. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. These are some really good records.
Thank you.
So after From the Heart, you didn't have like any music out after that. What were you involved in?
So after From the Heart, Ed and I decided to be a production team and go behind the scenes, because I broke off from the record company completely, and we wanted to bring some other acts to the forefront. And we worked with several artists that didn't really work out. Yeah, we worked with several artists that didn't work out. And then I started raising a family. I raised my kids and then started songwriting again. And when I started songwriting, I signed with Sony ATV and did a lot of writing for them. Had a few good singles that made me a good decent amount of money. Most of those, it was interesting because I got involved with producers who were mostly foreign producers. So I had some placements on large artists from Japan, like their Japanese Michael Jackson and their Japanese Britney Spears. The Korean Britney Spears. But anyway, so I had some good records placed through Sony. And then I started getting deals for other people. I had my daughters who were on Jive Records, twin daughters, and they were a pop rock duo. And then I got a deal for a young lady named Anissa, who was, I got her on RCA, and she was on RCA. She put out a record called Burn, Break, Crash that did relatively well. And we just got her released a couple of years ago, actually, or was it last year? Anyway, so she's doing independent music now. I just really have gotten, I don't know, kind of jaded where record companies are concerned. And I just feel like independent music is the way to go now. It's such a free space. So once we got her off the label, because they weren't doing, they were kind of an Atlantic Records for her, the way that Atlantic Records was with me, RCA was with her. So once we got her off and into independent music, I started getting the interest. I thought, you know, there's an element, a thing that I would like to hear as a consumer that's not out there,
Yeah.
or is not much of it out there. So I was like, this is the day of independent music. I wouldn't dare go to a record company and go, you know, can you sign me at this point in my life? You know,
Yeah.
besides the fact that I don't care much for that uh, that structure anyway. But it's not something that's practical for somebody at my point in life to go to a record company and say, I want to be a mainstream artist. Will you sign me? But in the age of independent music, you can do what you want to do if you find the
Yeah.
people who like what you do.
Yeah.
And, you know, I decided I'm going to put that out there. I have something I want to say now. Now, I mean, back then, I loved doing the music, but one of the focuses in being on a label is, can you make a record that's gonna make the charts? You know, what's the hot thing that's trending right now, and how can you fit into that and make it work for your perspective, you know? And now you don't have to fit into anything. I
Yeah.
have positive things that I want to say. I have an agenda of peace and love and just authenticity that I want to normalize. I want to make that like, it's okay to be positive to people.
Yeah.
It's okay to, you know, you don't have to try to fit into that, you know, everybody done pop bottles and make it clap. Everybody, like, that's not everybody's story. No judgment if it is your story. But if
Yeah.
it's not your story, you should have some music to listen to that relates to what you do, your normal little life, you know?
Yeah.
And I live a normal life. And, you know, I have good and bad things happening. And I just want to write about those things from a positive perspective. And that's what I'm doing. So the independent market has given me the ability to do that. And I'm enjoying that so much, so much. I love not having to be in a structure where I'm trying to be something that is already out there, where I'm trying to match something. I don't have to try to make sure it's commercial enough. So yeah, I love it. I love the freedom of this. So.
Yeah. Independent is, you know, that's great. Instead of signing a deal, because a lot of people get into bad deals and they're stuck in the contracts and they have
Yeah.
to stay in it until the contract's up. And
Yeah.
then if you're trying to get out of it, you may have to get a lawyer. It's and then might have to put in a lot of money to get out of the deal. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
independence is the best thing to do.
It is. It
um,
really is. And there's no, like, with social media, you can go straight to the people. Like, that's who it's
yeah,
about anyway. So why would you need a middleman? I mean, when you get to a certain point, like really large, granted, a large machine like an Atlantic Records or Warner Records can take you from huge to mega, but anywhere up to huge, you can get there yourself without,
yeah.
you know, mega, maybe you need them, but up to huge, you got this. You can go straight to the people and get that. So, yeah,
You can still hit the charts independently. You know,
absolutely.
it's a lot
Absolutely.
different now. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. So I don't see a reason for them. And they don't, like I said, except for going from huge to mega. Before then, they don't really develop artists. They don't invest much. They want to see what you have done already, that basically they're just riding on what you've created, and they won't come in until you create it on your own, until you have your own audience. They won't come in and build that with you. They will only come in if you have already built it. So if I've already built it, what do I need you for? so yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot different now, and I can see a difference in it too
Yeah.
from being a kid, because I ended up experiencing like the change in the industry, because you know I
Mm-hmm.
was born in the '90s, so I grew up in the 2000s and stuff, so I
Yeah.
know about like the newer stuff, and then I witnessed the change when I was like 15. It was
Yeah.
in 2010, I
Mm-hmm.
think, when the new decade started. Yeah, I noticed the change in it, like because
Yeah.
people were still buying like physical CDs. Um, I say about 2010 is when the shift started. I think just personally, because I remember when I was younger, I used to come home from school. I used to watch like music videos, um, from my generation.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to come home, and we had a show called 106 in Park, so
Yes.
I
I
used to
remember
watch that at
106 in
school.
Park. Yes.
Yeah, so it was a little bit different at that time. Um, then there was a show called like it was a show called Rap City that was on, so I
Yep.
used to watch that after school too, because
Yeah.
that show was actually on since the '80s, and it went off the air around 2008, because I remember watching it. You know, I
Uh-huh.
keep up with like a lot of old stuff, so
Yeah.
I
Wow. Look
know a
at
lot of stuff.
you.
I know a lot of stuff from like the '80s, '90s, 2000s. You know, I know a lot of music, so
Yeah, you are a connoisseur. Look at
yeah,
you. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I
Do
know a
you
lot of stuff.
remember Napster? Do you remember when Napster first came? That may be before your time.
I don't remember probably when it. I don't know when it first came out, but I remember it still being out, like LimeWire and all that stuff. When I was a kid, I remember it still being out. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that,
I remember some stuff like that too. Yeah,
yeah. Napster, I think, was the beginning of the big shift
yeah,
because before Napster, people had to buy the physical albums, the physical CD, you know. And then Napster started basically stealing music and making it
yeah,
so that people could free download. And
yeah.
that was the beginning of the end of huge money, because back in the day, man, the money we could make from record sales was amazing. I remember looking at some checks I got, just like, this is for me? Like, what? Amazing. And now it's just like a lot of the money that artists are able to make, those big checks and stuff like that, comes from either publishing or live performance, you know, touring and stuff. Um, but yeah, record sales, it's so hard to make those kind of checks that make you go, is this for me? You know, but that came from, you know, the beginning of the download age, and that was pretty sad. But you know, there's still ways to make money, like I said, touring, merchandise, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Napster, goodness,
Yeah,
that
in
was a
middle
change.
school, we was downloading music. we were downloading music on the computer
Yep.
around 2006
Yeah.
to about 2009, because I was in middle school around that time. We
Mm-hmm.
were downloading music. It was this site called Live Mixtapes, and
Uh-huh.
we was going on there getting a
Getting your
lot of
free
hip hop
music,
stuff.
right? Just be like,
Yeah,
oh, this one, and I'll take this one, and oh, that one, yeah.
we didn't know what to do when they took the sites down. No, we didn't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. Yep,
but
I remember the artist that I represented, and I still work with her. I still represent her. She's just, like I said, not on RCA anymore. But she was a kid, and she would be free download music, and I was like, "You are an artist. There is no reason you should be free downloading anybody's music. Do you want them to free download your music after you work hard on it like that?" And she was like, "No." But then she would come up with another song, a bunch of songs, and I go, "Where'd you get that from?" I downloaded it for free. Yeah. So I had to shame her for months and months to keep her from free downloading music. No artist should free download.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a good artist, you know. I know I keep saying it, but you know.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I want everybody to know that you've been doing this for over 30 something years. So, you
Woo!
know, this new stuff is you've already been in the game, so you know what the music industry is about, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You've
Ooh,
been doing it since 89.
to
Well,
say, oh,
earlier than that cuz you started in a group. You said you started in a group, so but
yeah.
you've been releasing albums since 89. This is
That's
Angie from
right.
the If She Knew days. This is not the
That's crazy to hear. It's crazy to
Yeah,
hear.
I want to let my generation know, yep, who are
We
discovering
not
their
new
new
to
stuff.
this. We not new to this.
Yeah, Angie been in the game.
Yes,
And I've been
yes.
knew about her before the new stuff came out. Yeah, I
Yes.
did. I've been knew about you since the new stuff been out. It's been years.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I got into this little circuit of talent show runners, and so I run around and do people's lives in the evenings. And most of the other people who do it are, very young kids who are just getting into the game, and that most of them don't know. I mean, they probably can guess, by looking at me that I'm auntie age, but they don't know, the history. So it's always interesting to see and hear, oh, oh, keep going, you'll get there, like, okay, thank you. I'm gonna keep going. Yes, I am. But basically, I'm just doing the talent shows to get directly to the audience, just to get directly to the people. I'm not trying to get signed like those kids are. I mean, my
Yeah.
friends, my friends are still the old people at the record labels. I could call those people and get some of those kids some of the deals. But but yeah, I work in the evenings. I'm working on just expanding my audience.
Yeah. Tell me about some of the new music you have out. I've heard the Blast Off song. I've heard the Quarantine Make Me Miss You song. And there was another one. Something's Got to Give. I heard that one too. So, yeah.
Yes, yes. This music is so much fun to me because I am creating all of the sounds with my mouth. Um, it is awesome to be able to when I write songs, I hear the whole thing in my brain. Um, and when I was working before, like on those albums that I did on Atlantic Records, I would hear the song in my brain, but I couldn't produce them myself because I couldn't completely like play all of the instruments. So we would produce them, but we would use players, like we would call a keyboard player in. Although I play piano, the things I wanted to hear weren't things. I was classically trained, so there were things that I could hear that I couldn't play. So we would call in a keyboard player, or call in a saxophone player, or whatever we needed. We would call in those players to try to recreate what was happening in my head. But now I figured out, wait, I can hear the instruments. I just don't know how to play a saxophone. I don't know how to play whatever the flute or whatever it is the instrument is, but I can make the sound. I know how to listen to it and create the vowel sound that the instrument is making and make the consonant and put my lips just right where it sounds like that instrument. So that's what I started doing for all of the instruments, and I really enjoy it. It's like I get to be a whole band out of my body. so 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 yeah, like I said, I'm writing things about just regular life, and in a way that's hopefully not offensive to people who just want to chill and step outside of all of the mainstream stuff that they're listening to or that they have access to, and yeah, and create it in a different kind of unique way. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun, a lot of freedom.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Thank you.
because I came across your new music on YouTube, and then you had like something on your YouTube about your social media pages. So I was like, I'm gonna go check out the social media. I said, oh, this is really Angie. I
Yes, yeah.
was like, let me give her a follow.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but I've had a few OGs hit me and go, "Is this you? Are you Angie from If She Knew?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm so glad you found me. Connect with me here because I communicate with people. Like that's part of why I'm doing it. Like I love people and I want to communicate with people. I want to be involved in that agenda of, like I said, peace, authenticity, positivity, like a real vibe. So when people hit me in my DMs, if it's not something weird, if it's not on some, hey, sexy, if it's not that, then I will communicate because I love that. I love communicating with people who are enjoying what I do. I mean, the least I can do is say thank you. So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. You know, being humble is the key. You know, um,
Absolutely. I've learned in this music business, people come and go. Like
yeah,
there is never a place for arrogance or cockiness because just as tall as you can go, as high as you can fall just as far down. So there's never a place for that. There's never, people may feel like there's a place for it, like they have the room for that kind of thing, but it's usually to their detriment. There's not a reason to do that. We really have one job, and that's to love each other. And I enjoy any privilege that I get to do that. When I get to have that kind of exchange with the next person, especially when they're saying they appreciate my contribution, I appreciate their appreciation. So it's a cycle, and I love it.
yeah. That's good. Um, yeah, I'm just happy that you wanted to come on, the platform and go live with me. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate the opportunity to share my agenda and my journey. It's like you said, it's been a long one.
Yeah.
I don't know when I've said I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't know that that's come out of my mouth. So that was so when you said it was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, it has been a long time. It's been a long journey and it's been a fun one. And I tell you, I feel so blessed and I thank God all the time for just the opportunity and the abilities and the responsibility that I have to use it, for good. So hopefully I can do that where he is satisfied with me.
Yeah, because I've had this station for about 2 years now, and
Mhm.
I've been, just posting about different shows I have on my station, and doing basic promotion. And I've been wanting to do interviews for a long time, but I was just trying to wait until the timing was right.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me hit Angie up because I've been wanting this. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. About your experience in the industry back in the day. Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, thank
yeah,
you.
you're the
You've been really easy to talk to. So you should keep the interviews up. You should keep them up for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Because you were actually the first artist I'm interviewing. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Nice.
yeah, you're the first artist from the New Jack Swing era. I was like, let me get Angie on here first.
I'm
Let me see if
honored.
she'll do it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I said I gotta get Angie on here.
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely keep it up. And I'll be supporting and I'll like repost other interviews that you have and everything. So yeah, absolutely. I'm a supporter of you. I appreciate your support of me. So I absolutely will be supporting you and checking out your station as well.
And you have new stuff, so I'm going to definitely be supporting that. You still
Thank
sound
you.
good to this day.
Thank
When I
you.
hear your new stuff, I'm like, yes, he still sounds like Angie back in the 80s.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
I'm
yeah,
trying to hold on, girl. I'm trying to hold
yeah,
on.
you're very talented. You can, sing real good. You're good
Thank
with
you.
production, all kinds of stuff. So, it's great. And you've also, produced on your own, albums and stuff. That's really dope how you did all that. Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Thank
commend
you.
you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I have to give credit to my now husband. Um, I would watch him do a lot of stuff, and at first I was just like, that just looks super confusing. I'm so not interested in that. You just do that and I'll sing. you know. Um, but he taught me a lot, so eventually I was able to sequence beats and of course I played keys. So some of the piano stuff I was able to play. Some of the things we still did call in players for, but I learned a lot from him. I would probably not be a producer today if it weren't for him. So I have to give him his credit. He was amazing.
Yeah, because he was in royalty back in the day. Brick, the funk band
Yes,
Brick. Yeah, so
yes,
yeah,
yes.
that's musical royalty right there. That's real music
Yep,
right there.
yep. I'm looking at he's got records on the wall right now, his gold and platinum records that I have on the wall in my studio. Yeah, that's history. We still enjoy, like, we'll be out somewhere or I'll be in the grocery store or whatever, and I hear, Daz, disco jazz over
Yeah,
the speakers, or we don't want to sit down, want to get down or something.
yeah,
And yeah, I appreciate that history. I'm proud of him for that.
yeah. That song, "Happy," I like that song by Brick.
Yes, yes, that's a really
That's
good
a
one.
real good one right there.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Also, are you from Atlanta?
I was born in Memphis,
Mm,
but I moved to Atlanta as a high school junior and
okay,
stayed there until '01. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Because I noticed on the CD it has Atlanta. Some of it was recorded in Atlanta. So
Yeah, I think everything was recorded. Well, we went to Miami to work for a bit.
mhm.
Um, but outside of that, everything was recorded in Atlanta. Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Because I think I was maybe 19 or something like that, 18 or 19 when I met Eddie. Um, and yeah, so yeah, everything was in Atlanta except for the little stuff that we did in Miami. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
you look amazing. I like your hair, your dreads.
Thank
You look
you. Thank
amazing.
you. It's funny, I had locks on that second record,
Yeah.
yeah, From the Heart. And my daughter, one of the twins who, the rock duo, ended up getting her hair in locks years later. And I don't think she had seen the locks on that record. And, she thought she was being original or whatever. And I was like, girl, I had that look long time ago. I had that look long time ago. You still trying to be your mama. He was like, so yeah, I was the originator, Miss Little Girl. Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you. Thank you. Invite me back anytime. I really appreciate you. And like I said, I'll be supporting. And you keep up the interviews. You're easy to talk to and you're great.
Thank
And
you.
good luck with your station too. I hope that it continues to grow.
And good luck with your independent music. I wish you the
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thank you. I'm going to keep working hard. All right. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.